Karate. The word literally means empty hand, which is hilarious because the whole point is to fill that empty hand with someone's face. Born in Okinawa, Japan, karate is all about striking. Punches, kicks, knee strikes, and open hand techniques. You've seen it, the white uniform, the colored belts, the dramatic ki scream. That scream isn't just for drama, by the way. It tightens your core and focuses power. There are different styles, Shotokan, Kyokushin, Goju Ryu, each with its own flavor, but all sharing that same goal: clean, precise, devastating technique. The legendary katas, those choreographed sequences you do alone, teach you discipline, muscle memory, and honestly, how to look incredibly cool in the dojo. Karate became an Olympic sport in Tokyo 2020, which proves that after decades of being in literally every action movie, it finally got the respect it deserved. Judo. The name means gentle way, and the founders were clearly trolling because nothing about being slammed onto a mat at full speed feels gentle. Created in Japan in 1882 by Jigoro Kano, Judo is a grappling martial art focused on throws, takedowns, and ground control. The goal? Get your opponent to the floor as efficiently as possible, then either pin them, choke them out, or lock a joint until they tap. Judo is pure physics. You're not overpowering anyone, you're using their own momentum against them. That means a smaller person can absolutely send a bigger person flying, which is maybe the most satisfying thing in all of martial arts. It became an Olympic sport in 1964 and has been there ever since. Judokas train in a gi, that thick jacket that your opponent grabs to throw you, and it's a sport where grip fighting alone is an entire science. If you ever feel like your day can't get worse, just remember someone's job is literally to find new ways to be thrown on the floor. Taekwondo. The Korean art that said, punches are fine, but have you tried kicking someone in the head? Developed in Korea in the 1940s and 50s, Taekwondo is famous for its fast, high, spinning kicks that look absolutely insane. We're talking roundhouse kicks, jump kicks, spinning heel kicks, axe kicks, the kind of stuff you rewind on YouTube 3 times just to confirm it actually happened. The name breaks down to K, foot, Kwan, fist, Do, way. So it's literally the way of the foot and fist, though let's be honest, it's 80% foot. It became an Olympic sport in 2000, and watching Olympic TKD is basically watching two people try to kick each other's heads off while wearing full body armor and somehow still scoring with the precision of a surgeon. It's one of the most widely practiced martial arts in the world, with schools in nearly every country. Fast, athletic, spectacular to watch, Taekwondo rewards flexibility, speed, and the willingness to throw a spinning kick at a stranger. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or BJJ, is the martial art that proves technique beats size. It started with Japanese Judo, but was refined in Brazil by the Gracie family in the early 20th century. The goal of BJJ is simple. If a fight goes to the ground, the person who knows ground fighting wins. The focus is entirely on submissions, chokes, arm bars, and joint locks that force an opponent to tap out before something breaks. In a BJJ gym, you'll see people calmly strangling each other, calling it rolling, and fist bumping afterward. BJJ exploded globally in the 90s after the first UFC events, where Royce Gracie used groundwork to defeat much larger opponents. Today, it is a staple of MMA and self-defense worldwide. Muay Thai. Known as the art of 8 limbs, Muay Thai uses fists, elbows, knees, and kicks for 8 distinct points of contact. As Thailand's national sport and cultural treasure, its roots trace back centuries to battlefield combat. A signature of Muay Thai is the clinch, grabbing your opponent to deliver devastating knee and elbow strikes to the body and face. The art is brutally elegant. Muay Thai fighters are famous for conditioning their shins to an incredible degree, striking banana trees and heavy bags until their legs are rock hard. Before each fight, the beautiful Wai Kru ceremony is performed to pay respect to teachers. Then the bell rings and the objective becomes clear. Training in Muay Thai offers unmatched cardio and a highly conditioned body, serving as the essential striking base for modern MMA. Wrestling. It's the oldest combat sport on Earth, with origins tracing back to ancient Greece and 15,000-year-old cave art. It seems humans have always had an instinct to grab one another and take the fight to the ground. Wrestling is pure grappling, focused on takedowns, slams, pins, and dominant control. In Olympic competition, there are two primary styles: freestyle and Greco-Roman. Freestyle allows leg attacks, while Greco-Roman bans them, leading to spectacular, dramatic throws. Wrestling is arguably the single most effective base for modern MMA. Nearly every successful UFC champion possesses a background in wrestling or has trained in it extensively. The reason is simple. Wrestlers control where the fight takes place, deciding whether it stays standing or goes to the ground. This provides an enormous strategic advantage. Boxing. The sweet science, the noble art, 16 ounces of glove, 3 minutes of round, and a fight that can end any second with a single perfect punch. Boxing traces its roots to ancient Greece. It was an Olympic event in 688 BC. But the modern rule set with rounds and gloves developed in 18th century England. The technique in boxing is deceptively deep. Jabs, crosses, hooks, uppercuts, only 4 punches, but the footwork, head movement, distance management, and timing that surround them are endlessly complex. A great boxer is never where you're punching. They slip, roll, pivot, and make you miss before making you pay. The greatest names in sport history are boxers: Ali, Tyson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Mayweather, Pacquiao. Each a different style, each a different era, all absolute artists. Boxing is also the foundation of most stand-up striking in MMA. It's not flashy like spinning kicks, it's just brutally efficient, deeply technical, and responsible for some of the most dramatic moments in sports history. Kung Fu, or Wushu, is not a single style, but a vast lineage of Chinese martial arts spanning thousands of years. From the explosive power of Shaolin to the close-quarters precision of Wing Chun, it is a philosophy of attainment through effort. The legendary Shaolin monks transformed the body into a weapon through extreme conditioning, breaking stone and mastering balance, while viewing combat as a form of moving meditation. This discipline emphasizes fluidity and Taolu, or forms, often drawing inspiration from the natural world through animal styles like the tiger, crane, or monkey. Global icons like Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan brought this aesthetic to the masses, blending lethal efficiency with a deep spiritual connection. More than just fighting, Kung Fu is a pursuit of harmony between mind, body, and the qi that flows through both. Mixed martial arts. MMA began as a simple experiment. What happens when every combat discipline meets in a cage? The result is the fastest-growing sport on Earth, a relentless fusion of striking and grappling where the goal is to adapt or lose. An MMA fighter is the ultimate generalist. By blending the precision of boxing, the lethality of Muay Thai, the control of wrestling, and the submissions of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, they become the most complete athletes in history. The sport's 1990s explosion proved a vital lesson. Technique overcomes size, and the ground is just as dangerous as the feet. Beyond the intensity lies a deeply strategic human chess match. Every transition is a calculated risk. Every clinch is a battle for leverage. It is a seamless, violent, and beautiful display of what the human body can achieve when all limits are removed. Aikido. Created in the early 20th century by Morihei Ueshiba, Aikido is known as the art of peace. Unlike other martial arts, it focuses on redirecting an attacker's energy rather than clashing with it. Instead of blocking, you blend with the movement, guiding your opponent into a joint lock or a throw using circles and spirals. Ueshiba's philosophy was built on harmony, not destruction. While critics argue that Aikido is difficult to test in real combat due to its lack of competitive sparring, practitioners value it as a deep philosophical tradition. Regardless of the debate, watching a master perform these physics-defying wrist locks and flowing throws is one of the most aesthetically striking experiences in the martial arts world. Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. Japanese Jiu-Jitsu is the ancient source code of the grappling world. Long before it evolved in Brazil, it was a battlefield combat system used by samurai who had lost their weapons. Since fighting armored opponents with fists was ineffective, they developed a system based on leverage, timing, and throwing. This art is the ancestor of the entire grappling family tree. Judo was refined from it, Aikido borrowed its movements, and BJJ is its direct descendant. Unlike its sport-focused successors, traditional Japanese Jiu-Jitsu is a comprehensive self-defense system, including strikes, joint locks, chokes, and weapon defense. Whether practicing traditional Koryu styles or modern versions, the depth of knowledge is extraordinary, representing the foundational techniques from which much of modern martial arts was compiled. Kickboxing is what happens when boxers decide that hands just aren't enough. Developed in Japan and the US during the 1950s and 60s, it fused the precision of Western boxing with the explosive kicks of karate. The result? A high-speed, four-point attack system that's as athletic as it is devastating. In the ring, it's all about the flow. Deadly combinations like a jab cross followed by a crushing low kick or a hook that sets up a head-high roundhouse. Whether it's the spectacular K1 era or modern glory, kickboxing is famous for some of the most iconic knockouts in combat sports history. Sambo is a Soviet-era martial art developed in the 1920s, blending judo and folk wrestling into a specialized hand-to-hand combat system. Its name, an acronym for self-defense without weapons, reflects its practical military roots. The discipline is divided into two primary styles: Sport Sambo, which focuses on jacket wrestling and is famous for its devastating leg locks, and Combat Sambo, a complete system used by the Russian military that includes striking. Known for prioritizing raw effectiveness over elegance, Sambo has produced some of the most dominant fighters in MMA history, most notably Fedor Emelianenko and Khabib Nurmagomedov. It remains a formidable, no-nonsense art that excels at controlling and neutralizing opponents. Sumo. Two massive humans, one circle, one rule, don't leave it. Japan's ancient national sport has been around for 1,500 years. The wrestlers, called rikishi, eat a special stew called chankonabe, sleep right after to gain weight, and train every single day just to push someone out of a ring. There are actually 82 recognized techniques to do that. For a sport that looks like two refrigerators hugging, that's surprisingly sophisticated. The top rank is Yokozuna, Grand Champion, and it's one of the most prestigious titles in Japanese culture. The pre-fight ritual alone, salt throwing, stomping, staring, sometimes lasts longer than the actual fight. Tai Chi, the slowest martial art in the world, also secretly terrifying. You've seen it, Elderly people in parks moving in slow motion like they're buffering, that's actually one of the most sophisticated combat systems ever created, just in meditation mode. The whole idea, don't clash with force, redirect it. Yield, blend, return. Softness beats hardness. The slow forms build body awareness and internal power. Speed them up, add a resisting opponent, suddenly it looks very different. Also genuinely great for balance, mental health, and longevity. So you can use it to fight someone, or just live longer than everyone who laughed at you in the park.